Hi everybody, it's Tatiana, and I don't know how wise it is for me to do this at this moment. It is 10 minutes after midnight on Saturday, November 10th, and about 15 minutes ago, I finished an upside down book. A Time of Dread by John Gwynne. This is the first installment in his new series, and it's called Of Blood and Bone. And so, okay, a couple of things before I get into what I thought about the book. I was under the impression when I heard about this being released that it was going to be a story of the conflict between the Ben-Elim and the Cadisham from The Faithful and the Fallen series. And for some reason in my head, I took that to mean that this was going to be like a prequel to give us some of the background of the conflict between Azroth and Elyon, the Ben-Elim and the Cadisham. And that's not the case. So my initial thoughts going into this was that if you had not read The Faithful and the Fallen series, you could still read this series and know what's going on. And I'm going to say that no, you cannot, or you should not, or you will not get as much enjoyment out of it as you could if you read this without having read The Faithful and the Fallen series first. And one of the comfortable things about The Faithful and the Fallen series is that when you first started the series, you only followed like five characters maybe. And as the series went along, the number of characters that you followed increased. So it increased little by little, and it didn't seem like so much at one time. I started this book on Monday of this past week, and I want to say I read like maybe 16 pages because I realized from the jump that there were far more people that I would be following, and reading it as a way to get me to sleep was a quick way to get me lost. So this takes place a century or so after the end of The Faithful and the Fallen. I want to say for the first 50 to 60 pages, I was thinking there's no way I'm going to keep these people straight as far as who these characters were. And as I continued to read the story, that totally just fell away, and I was reading to hurry up and get back to the character that I wanted to know what else happened to their story. So, and it's like a domino effect. You read one person's story chapter, and that ends with a cliffhanger, and then you're like, okay, gosh, okay, hurry up and read the next few chapters till we get back to this person. And then as you're reading, more is happening with the next character that you're following, and more with the next character. So all you want to do is hurry up and get to everybody's story, which pushes you along in the novel. I read this faster than I have probably read any book this year. When I look at my Bookly stats, I want to say I got it to a point where I was reading 1.3 pages per minute. Like, that's ridiculously fast for me. So I really enjoy John Gwynne's writing style. I hate the word sluiced, like juiced with an SL. I hate that word. And he used it a lot in the last two books in the Faithful and the Fallen series, and he only used it once in this novel. But the fact that it appears in the first novel lets me know it's going to be used a lot more in this series as well. John Gwynne's ability to story you through combat scenes is just wonderful. Because as I'm reading them, I can see the scenes playing out in my head, and I can picture the creatures that he's talking about. The way that he does descriptive words in this story is just, and the way that he can give you the tension in a scene Whereas I felt like I was reading it slowly, but I was speed reading through it because it felt like the scene was just moving in slow motion in my head as I'm, imagining the Catachem or the Benelim. And if you haven't read the Faithful and the Fallen series, the Benelim are the angelic creatures that are the servants or children of Elyon, who is the higher, the good being in this world, and the Catachem are the evil angels, basically, that serve Azeroth. And so the descriptions of them and the way that they fly, the way that they fight, the differences between the ways that the both of them interact with each other and the people who are around them, the connections that you are able to build because you're so quickly reading through these things that happen. This was so good. Oh my goodness. This was so good. I am more amazed that this man has got me sucked into another epic fantasy series that I can't wait for the second book to come. And I said after reading the Faithful and the Fallen series that was it, because I couldn't deal with the emotional connections that I was getting to all of these damn characters, and so many people die in these books and shit, and I'm all in it all over again. So yeah, that is my very rambly and very gushy review of this novel. Thank you all for watching. I hope you have a good week, weekend, night, early morning, whenever you are watching this video. I'm going to take my deliriously sleepy ass to sleep. Peace out.